Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every morning with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. So, today's topic of conversation is, I don't even know what I should call it, but we're going to call it getting hacked. As in, getting your computer hacked. I unfortunately this week, today is Saturday, so Tuesday of this week, I was on my way home from the gym and suddenly I get a phone call from, I couldn't even understand what the man was saying. And I was like, who? I almost hung up on the man. And then finally, come to find out, I understood that he was saying he was trying to deliver food from Grubhub and had an order from McDonald's. And I was like, huh? What are you talking about? I have not placed an order from McDonald's through Grubhub. Well, so obviously my account was hacked. Of course, I freaked out and I was like, stop the presses. I didn't order that. Send it back. And then when I looked on my phone, I looked at my American Express account and someone had obviously hacked my account and placed a $92 order from McDonald's in my neighborhood. 4 Big Macs and 6 Shamrock Shakes to be exact, with a $25 tip, and it was like almost $92. And then the same criminal that was at 2:57 to be exact, 2 minutes later at 2:59 tried placing another order, but having that order sent to an address in Washington Heights from a restaurant that was near that address. Now, I've had this happen before where I've had actual credit cards hacked, and then the credit card companies, the banks are good about flagging it, and then suddenly they'll say, did you try doing this charge? Or, I'm good about checking my accounts every day to make sure that there's no fraudulent charges. This caught me off guard because had this delivery man not contacted me, I would have never known. Now, the scary part about all of this is, apart from the fact that all of our information is out there and anyone at any given time can hack you, it was just odd to me that if you are going to hack someone's credit card and order food, wouldn't you want the food sent to where you are? So the fact that the criminal who did this was having the food sent to my address, it wasn't even that they hacked, I don't think it was that they hacked the credit card, they hacked the Grubhub account. Because apparently my credit card had been saved as a payment. But then the scary part with that is, well, did they have the food sent here because they were planning on being here and intercepting the food? So then I'm thinking, well, shit, is it someone that I know? Is it someone that knows that I live here? Was it someone that maybe a bad trick that maybe you meet someone online and sometimes, I admit it, you do that. You might have fun once and that's that. And, maybe they hacked into my Wi-Fi. I don't know. All I know is that, it was a bit too close to home. And that honestly, scared the shit out of me. And that happened about 4 days ago. And then, I immediately called American Express. Obviously, they're sending me a new credit card. They are not charging me for, the fraudulent charges. Spoke to Grubhub as well, their fraud department. And I said to them, well, wouldn't it stand to reason? It's one of two things. It's either that someone hacked into my information and they know me and they're trying to fuck with me, or could a criminal be that stupid and maybe they were trying to have the food sent here as a test run to see if it will go through. But then why would you do a $90 order? And then what Grubhub did, which was correct, was when they saw 2 minutes later, someone tried, theoretically me, through my Grubhub account, tried placing an order to an address in a totally different borough. They flagged that and they canceled that order because there's no way that I could have been in Queens and then 2 minutes later in Washington Heights. But then they're stupid too, because then they should have made them think, well, what about this first order? Who orders $92 from McDonald's? I mean, is anyone that lazy that they would order that much food when the McDonald's is only a few blocks from here? So all I know is that it was time consuming. It was horrible feeling, because I really kind of felt like I was violated. And, it probably is just like whoever from out there, that just happened to hack into that. And, and then what was really the worst part was I was on my way home. So when I was on the phone with Grubhub and said, I didn't place this order, cancel it, and then they were leaving to bring it back, the delivery guy, instead of like checking off that the order had been canceled, he checked off that it had been delivered. And when I saw that, I was arriving home like 2 minutes later. So then I'm thinking, oh my God, delivered? I just told you I didn't place this order. So I'm thinking, did this criminal that did this suddenly intercept him and say, oh, no, I placed the order? And was I going to bump into that person? I don't know. All I know is that it was the worst feeling, a feeling of being violated. 3 hours later, wasted, not wasted, but 3 hours after the fact, I had been on the phone with Amex, Grubhub, and, trying to figure all of that out. And, of course, letting them know that that wasn't me. So the moral of this story is that, I had to change my passwords. I went ahead and Grubhub took all of my saved payments off the account. I took Grubhub off my app, off of my phone, because I never even ordered food from them. I had in the past, but it's been forever. And it did make me realize, we have all of these apps on our phones, and half of them you could just tap on it and then suddenly your account is open. Who's to say that if someone doesn't hack into your phone, that they don't have access to all of that? So it made me go through all of my apps on my phone, and if there are ones that I have that I never use, I uninstalled them. The other suggestion that was made to me was, I'm probably like a lot of people where I tend to use, a lot of times you use the same password for everything just to simplify life. Slight variations might be capitalized, add a symbol, this, that, but there's a few that are pretty much what I use throughout all of my accounts. And they suggested, don't do that, because then if suddenly a hacker figures out your password for one thing, and if you use the same one for everything, who's to say they're not going to try your other things? So I was like, oh. So that was an interesting thing, which I never thought to look at it that way. But, kind of makes sense. So the other thing that was suggested to me, which I was like, I need to do this too. I'm guilty of a lot of times on these websites, you save your credit card information. But there's so many sites that you're on, or even if it's like airline sites where, periodically you'll book a flight, but there's a lot of sites where you have the option of saving your credit card information. And this just made me realize, don't do that anymore, because the bottom line is, it wasn't that the hacker had hacked my Amex account. They hacked my Grubhub account and somehow were able to get into it. And I think it's because I always stayed, I never hit log off. So even when I go on my computer and would go on that account, it would just open up and my account was open. So kind of makes you think, what's the point of saving your credit card information on a site if someone can hack that site and then try to buy things? It's bad enough that they can hack your credit card, and try to purchase things that way. So it's just really kind of messed up, when you think about it. Anyone at any given time can do that, and it's it's kind of scary. So this week, needless to say, has been a little stressful, because I've been dealing with that, and realizing, oh, maybe I should not do this. So what are you guys' thoughts? I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one out here who has had information hacked. But if that is the case, maybe you might want to think the way I'm thinking now, which is, don't save your credit card information. Maybe not have the same password for everything. Mix it up a bit. That's we'll make it a pain in the butt, because, it's easier to memorize the fewer you have. But for your own safety, I say mix it up. Just write it down. And even if it takes you a minute to memorize it, or even if you have to look at a piece of paper to type it in, for your own safety, I just think it makes a lot more sense. And by all means, I have been working my butt off, taking all of the saved payments on everything off of all of my accounts. So that's my 2 cents with that. I'm sorry it happened to me. I'm not the first person, nor am I the last person that it's going to happen to. That's just unfortunately the world we live in. And, I was even, I don't want to say it's embarrassing that it happened, because it's not. It's horrifying that it happened, actually. But, I've said before with these videos, I like to be honest. And if what I've learned from this are these few little points of not having the same password, not saving payment information, and if I could pass that on to you, because I would have never thought that way, even though this isn't the first time that this has happened. It's been a few times, but not to this degree, and not to the degree where they were having something sent here. That was just a little too close for comfort. But hey, I survived, and worst case scenario, if some bitch tries showing up, I got my bayonet and my hammer, and don't fuck with me, because if you try with me, I know how to protect myself. I am, after all, from the Bronx, so you live and learn, right? And I've always said, never a dull moment. So if I didn't learn something out of this, I wouldn't be sharing this experience. So leave your thoughts and comments, and thank you, as always, for subscribing and listening and letting me into your lives and tell you the trials and tribulations that come with living in New York City. All right, guys. Love you. Till the next time. Bye.